RJ Barrett could be back in Monday's rotation for the New York Knicks, which is huge news. And also, Jalen Brunson has come to the defense of Julius Randle after Randle's historically bad start to the season. And we're going to break that down. So, welcome back to Knicks Digest. My name is Chris, and let's jump right into things here. First things first, RJ Barrett could be returning to the New York Knicks lineup, and that is amazing news as Barrett has been the best player on the Knicks for the 4 games that he has played. He's missed the last 2 games for the New York Knicks, and unsurprisingly, the Knicks lost those games. Now, it has sucked not having RJ because he has finally found his efficiency. He's shooting over 40% from three, and he's been the only consistent player outside of Mitchell Robinson on the Knicks. And it's important that RJ stays consistent considering out of that lineup, RJ is one of the most threatening scorers on the team, especially if he's shooting over 40%, because that opens his game up more for him to take threes that he'll actually be guarded on, which is really important so then he can use his quick first step, use his strength, and get to the hoop and score where he is at his absolute best. So that is amazing news. As we see, Stefan Bondy said today that RJ practiced today and he'll play tomorrow if everything comes out okay. The reason that I am making a video that has this as a huge topic is because recently I made a video talking about that there is a potential issue with RJ Barrett's knee that is more than meets the eye. RJ has been listed with a sore left knee for the past few days now, and that started against the Boston Celtics. I believe this was in the third quarter. RJ went up for a dunk, and Derek White was chasing him from behind. They didn't exactly collide, but RJ was aware that he did not have much landing space. It's not Derek White's fault. It was just that White was jumping, RJ was in the air. Things get complicated when two guys who are over 6 feet tall and quite large human beings are in the air together, and RJ seemed to land a little awkwardly. He kind of like moved gingerly on his knee for a few seconds before running it off, and ever since then he's been playing with a knee brace on, but he has still been the best player on the Knicks. First of all, that's super exciting because that means if RJ's knee is completely okay, then we're going to see the first healthy RJ Barrett of the season, which is really awesome because RJ's been putting up pretty elite numbers with the New York Knicks. Obviously, this is his whole career stats, and there's a reason why I'm showing all of them. But let's just take a look. I know it's a little small. Sorry, guys. Of this little 4 game stretch that RJ's had, in the 31 minutes per game that he's played, he has shot 45% from three, which is his career high. He has shot 43% from three, which is his career high. He's shooting, well, pretty good from the free throw line. Again, a career high from the free throw line at 81%, averaging 2.5 assists with 3 rebounds and obviously 21 points per game. It is the most efficient version of RJ Barrett we have ever seen by a mile. The only thing that comes close is his sophomore season when he was really just a 3-and-D guy, mainly because Randle was working on the inside, so RJ worked on his outside game and his defense. And it turned in a pretty interesting 3-and-D season, which is, I think, funny to a lot of people who watched RJ coming up at Duke and in high school at Montverde. You would know that Barrett was a guy who's going to take the ball to the hole mainly, so to see him as a 3-and-D player was very interesting. But then he seemed to lose touch with his shooting for a bit. The Knicks had rough spacing. They always have since RJ's been a Knick. They've never had the correct spacing. Him and Julius Randle really do not fit together. They're both better when the other is not there, though they do have very good chemistry, so there is that saving grace to it. But I'm very, very curious to see how RJ comes back, especially if he's healthy. That would just open up a completely new game for RJ Barrett, and I would absolutely love to see that. I cannot wait to see RJ Barrett get back on the court. It would be awesome if he can play against the Los Angeles Clippers. They'll certainly need his defense as the Clippers now have that big three of Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and James Harden, all of whom will be playing in Monday night's game against the New York Knicks. And RJ's going to have to guard one of them. Obviously, Grimes is going to pick up one of them. It's not really clear who. I'm sort of hoping RJ guards Kawhi because he's one of the few people strong and quick enough to probably sort of give Kawhi some trouble. He's not going to be able to stop Kawhi. When Kawhi wants to play really good offense and is healthy, he absolutely does that. He looks menacing. As we saw against the Los Angeles Lakers, he had that crazy first quarter, and that was really interesting to see. So I'm really hoping that Barrett can get back just completely healthy, and then we'll see RJ go up potentially against Kawhi Leonard or Paul George, both of whom very interesting matchups for Barrett. It'll also be cool to see Grimes and see who he guards. Probably James Harden, I would guess. And then that leaves the other guy for maybe Julius. I'm not sure. Julius's defense has not been that bad this year, though there was that lack of effort thing. And speaking of Julius Randle, that is what we call a transition in the business, because Jalen Brunson came to Julius Randle's defense And this is very important that Brunson specifically is someone coming to Randle's defense. Obviously, if you were to ask RJ Barrett, RJ, what do you think about Julius' slow start, or really any Nick, they'd obviously give a good answer. Regardless, they're not going to call their teammate out in the media. But RJ and Randle are known friends. Randle has been like a big brother to RJ throughout his career, and RJ has never played a single season without Julius Randle as a teammate. They also just play similarly. As I said, they're not the best when they're together. They're both better off separately. But essentially, Jalen Brunson's newer to the squad. He doesn't know Julius Randle as much as some of the other guys who have been here longer, so it's important that Brunson, the other star on the team, and the better star on the team, is hyping up his boy in Julius Randle. That's super helpful, because as we know, Randle has had one of the most historically bad starts to an NBA season ever. And it's been a bummer. Like, straight up, there's not many better words to use, and this season has just been a real bummer for the New York Knicks and Julius Randle as a whole. We need Randle to play well, or the Knicks are not going to play well, because with what he's doing right now, his usage rate is way too high for the Knicks to be successful if Julius Randle is going to keep shooting these tour dates. I had to do it. I had to say it. People keep saying it. I had to jump on the trend a little bit, though I am a big fan of Julius Randle, and I do think he'll bounce back. Here's Julius' stats through the first 6. I don't know. Oh man, that is, yeah. You guys can read. You see what that is. 14 and 10 don't look so bad with 5 assists if you're not looking at those shooting numbers, but whoosh. 27% from the field, 22 from 3, 61 from the free throw line, effective field goal percentage, 31.8%, with a negative win share and a PER of 8. The league average is 15, and Julius Randle, an all-star 2 times and a 2-time All-NBA player, has an 8. That's what Kevin Knox had in his rookie year, an 8 PER. Which was one of the lowest in the league. So Julius Randle's efficiency rating is equal to rookie year Kevin Knox. That's not very good, guys. That's not good. I don't know about you guys, but I would rather Julius Randle have a more efficient season than rookie Kevin Knox, personally. Maybe you guys have a different opinion. Maybe you hate the Knicks, and that's why. But no, seriously, obviously, Randle's not having a great season at all. This has been a complete issue. And I will say, I don't want to go out here and just blindly defend Julius Randle the same way that some people blindly hate Julius Randle regardless. But Randle's never been fully loved by the Knicks fans or fully accepted because of that rough first year. People said he sucked. They wanted him traded. And then people have too high of egos as fans to say I was wrong about a guy. I said I wanted Julius traded. Then he played really well, and I was like, whoops, I was wrong. Then Julius played badly again the next year when he averaged 19 and 10. And I fully believe that was because the Knicks started Alec Burks at point guard, and Julius was put in a really rough situation where he could not get to his spots because there was not even a point guard on the team. Obviously, Alfred Payton was not the best point guard, but Randle and him, they worked well together. They were together in New Orleans. They were friends. There was at least that going for them, where that season, the 21-22 season, Julius just did not have a point guard at all to work with. And he was expected to have a huge load, and it led to one of his inefficient seasons, and it was really rough to watch. And this year, there's really no excuse outside of the fact that the entirety of the Knicks have been inconsistent. Randle has not been inconsistent. He's been consistently bad, and that's the issue. And I think that sort of is because the whole Knicks have been inconsistent. Randle's talked about this a little bit, and he said it's just a rhythm thing. We're not getting anything easy. Keyword where. I feel like we're just working hard for everything right now. He's absolutely correct there. There's no denying that. It's early in the season, and Randle, who is coming off of an off-season ankle surgery, very important, has plenty of time to figure out how to fix his shot, but in New York, the clock is always ticking, and something needs to be done sooner rather than later. That is absolutely correct. New York Knicks fans do not have much patience, especially because Julius Randle has not always had the most patience with the Knicks fans, if you remember this, from that rough season that he had in 21-22. The Knicks fans have always been sort of rough on Julius Randle, and I've never seen someone with as many fair-weather fans within the New York Knicks organization that Julius had. Obviously, Melo got hate, and Jalen Brunson one day will probably get some hate, and RJ Barrett has gotten it, and Barrett's not on the same stratosphere as those three guys. And obviously, none of them are on the stratosphere as Carmelo Anthony. He was one of the best players in the NBA, and there was no denying that. But even Melo got booed sometimes. Derek Jeter got booed. Eli Manning got booed. You get booed in New York, and sometimes it's just about how you take it. Some people can handle it, and some people can't. Maybe Julius is not a tough love type of guy, but it's also hard to imagine he would go to New York knowing that. Like, it's not even just New York. It's Philadelphia. It's Boston. It's all of Northeastern sports. If we get a player who's supposed to be doing better, and then they start playing poorly, we boo them. That's not new. That's been happening as long as New York sports have been a thing. I obviously am not in my 50s, 60s, or 70s, so I don't know what happened with Clyde Frazier. I was born in 2001. I do know Ewing got booed at times, and Patrick Ewing is widely regarded as the best player in our franchise's history. It's Clyde Frazier. Don't get it twisted. It's Clyde. He won the 2 championships, and it was behind him. It was not behind Willis Reed. Be sure to know that, Knicks fans, if I do, because I'm young and cool. No, I'm kidding. But seriously, if you look here, this is what Jalen Brunson had to say about Julius Randle. It happens. It's part of basketball. This dude has a great mindset and a great work ethic. He comes in every day, does what he has to do, does his routine and all that stuff. The ball's not going through the hoop right now for him. I tell him every day, I'm with him. We're going to work through this, everything. When I have days I'm not making shots the same, when I have days I'm not making shots, he says the same thing to me. It's all right. I mean, he's missing shots, but we're still in games. He's contributing in a big way. I'm never going to get into all that stuff, but his heart's still there. He just has to get over this little hump. Absolutely correct. I do think Randle's going to bounce back. It's been 6 games, and the Knicks as a whole have had no semblance of an offense. I keep talking about this. They have this freelance isolation set that does not work with this team, and they have to understand that. And by they, I mean Tom Thibodeau. Obviously, the Knicks do too, but they're not going to draw up their own plays. Maybe the Knicks draw a pick and roll play every once in a while. Draw up plays, run in transition, do something. Fix this offense, Tibbs, because this is also on you as much as it is on Julius, because Julius has not had a great energy. He's kind of shrugged Brunson off once or twice before. Brunson being a consummate pro and just being the absolute best teammate here, which is super good to see that Jalen Brunson is everything that we want him to be, outside of the consistency, but he just had 45 points. Let's give him a little break. And here's just something that was mentioned in an article. New York can try cheering on struggling stars instead of booing. Maybe it might be time for a Julius Randle chant Monday when the Knicks host the Clippers. I just wanted to finish on that because that is a thing that could happen. I just mentioned how it's all of Northeast sports. We all get sort of angry if you don't play up to the standards that we're expecting of you, and we start to boo. If you are baseball fans, you would have heard about the Trey Turner situation with the Philadelphia Phillies, and essentially that Turner was having an awful season after signing a $300 million plus deal for over 10 years to play the rest of his career out with the Philadelphia Phillies. And he was one of the best shortstops in the MLB. It was an absolute steal of a signing. They got him away from the Los Angeles Dodgers and brought in one of, if not maybe the best defending shortstop in the league, one of the best athletes in the league, and a tremendous contact hitter. And then he just played horribly. He couldn't do any of that. The fielding was rough. The hitting was abysmal. He could not put contact with the ball. And then he got a standing ovation from the Philadelphia Phillies. And in just a random game, they decided, all right, let's flip the script. Let's just give him a standing ovation. Dude hits a home run, and then he gets on track and goes back to being Trey Turner. Maybe try that for once instead of just saying Julius Randle sucks and then making really tasteless jokes, because I've seen you Knicks fan accounts just going out there and making tasteless jokes about tragedies that are national issues, and then people adding Julius Randle into the fold. Shut up. For real. It's so stupid. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about that. Hopefully Randle bounces back, but right now he's been brutal. I'm not going to try to defend him aimlessly. I know that he's having a bad season, and a lot of this is on him. Hopefully it has nothing to do with his ankle, but also maybe hopefully it does, and that he's not just playing horribly. I don't know. But really, thank you for watching this video. Comment down below what you think is going on with Julius Randle, because this is really getting weird, guys. And also, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It means the world to us over at Knicks Digest. And that is all for today. So have a great day, guys. Remember, go Knicks. I'll see you in the next one.